Hello guys, what is going on? I should have made another cup of coffee before I started this. Let's get into it. What do we got today? Probably Epstein. Oh yeah, New York City. I wanted to cover this here in a bit. First, should probably turn this down. Hold on one sec. I'm learning. I be learning. I want to check out this trailer.
I just want to get across that finish line, Sergeant Major.
Rangers are the spearhead of the United States Army. Do you understand me? Yes, sir, Sergeant!
Hey, slow down, Superman. Making the rest of us look bad.
You can expect your emotional, physical, and mental strength to be pushed to the limit.
Keep your eyes open.
This company's going haywire.
What the hell is that?
Retreat!
Is it an alien? What
Whatever
is
that
it?
thing is, it's hunting us. And it won't stop. No comms, no flares, no firearms. We need to move.
Is this just robotic predator? Is that what I'm seeing here? A modern day robotic predator?
It's not about us anymore. It's warning everybody that thing's coming.
Rangers, lead the way! All the way!
You gotta be shitting me.
You know what that thing reminds me of? It looks like the one of the bosses in Borderlands 2. Oh my god, what was that? I can't remember the thing's name, but it was just like, it was super tanky and it was annoying because it would just like, it would come down. It was one of those robots. It would come down on a kind of like a highway that's just like up ahead, just like, yeah, hard to explain, but if anybody's played Borderlands, they know what I'm talking about. That's what that looks like. The thing was hard to take down, but eventually you could do it if you had strong enough weapons. But yeah, that kind of just reminded me of Predator. But also a little bit of, it gave me vibes of that Black Mirror episode. I think Machine Head or Metalhead or whatever. With those dogs. Those machine dogs chasing everybody around. Which is weird because, yeah, now that's... Those machine dogs are like real. They actually use those now. Let's see. Let's do New York. Because I saw a little bit of this yesterday, and I didn't realize that the trash could get that bad. Like, and then oh yeah. I really hope they go over, were not forklifts, but they were using cats out there in the snow, and they were just spreading it around. And I'm like, what? I guess, and I don't really exactly know what happened in New York, but since Mom Donnie took over, I guess he's doing like equity measures to make sure that everybody has a job, no matter what their qualifications are, type thing, because it's for representation, identity representation. And you got dudes out there that clearly don't know what the hell they're doing on the job. And it was like, I think the text said something like, are they drunk? And yeah, he was just doing wheelies in this cat, or not wheelies, but spin outs with it, and just like pushing this. He was just putting the snow like onto the street. He was just spreading it out, but he's putting it onto the street, and it's like, what are you doing? It was really weird. It, like, I couldn't tell if they were just screwing around, and I was like, no, it seemed like it was pretty common, like a lot of the streets, that there was snow everywhere, so it was like a common thing for them to be doing. I have no idea. It's really weird. It's almost like it was a prank, but if this really is the level of incompetence that equity, equity proposals being implemented, how it really, what it looks like in the outcome. It's I gotta say, at least it's funny. At least
only
it's funny.
a month
Let's get into it.
they're having mass amounts of garbage just piling up everywhere. It literally looks like a socialist nightmare. But also, it wasn't just one guy saying, "Oh, the snow's getting really bad over here." It was this other person talking about the garbage piling up. It's like it's higher than the vehicles, overflowed dumpsters, trash everywhere.
Well, I feel like it's just getting frozen. It's getting like molded into the side of the sidewalk because it's not. It's just all frozen. It's just a frozen heap of mess. You know, like.
No, the snow's been melted for quite some time, so this didn't just drop yesterday.
Oh, it's melted. Okay, my bad. I apologize.
And everybody, the Bronx, Brooklyn, like it's all bad.
It looks
everywhere.
pretty cold.
It's getting
there.
so bad that even who is this?
Hold on. You said it melted, but I thought people were passing away because of how cold it was there. They lost like how many people? A dozen or something?
Dr. Naomi Wolf was saying it's so bad, the trash has been out there for so long, it's actually starting to have the rats tearing up the garbage bags to feast on what's in there.
Well, that's just an everyday situation in New York. Let's be real.
It's gonna get worse. A month in.
My
Oh, God.
shoulders.
A Christmas tree as of February 3rd. Who does that?
It's literally up to my shoulders.
Rat feast, yep.
There's Christmas tree.
Oh, my bad. I think because the game is loading in. Bugged out there.
That pack of diapers? I mean, it's all bad, but the idea is, I think if you're a sanitation worker in New York City, those unions need to start firing up their comrades to start striking. Again, I'm not a big fan of union striking, but if they ever wanted a quote-unquote living wage, they have New Yorkers on their heels right now. They have a mayor that's all about giving the people a living wage and, you know, raising up the lower class. You guys are the working lower class. If you ever had a chance of getting $30 to $50 an hour, now would be the time. Because not only is it the garbage, but it's also the fact that, what is it? I don't want to misidentify him as a homeless person, but I'm guessing he's a homeless person. Just trying to get just trying to get warm by standing on top of this sewer.
You saw in the news they
That's when I saw how like cold it was. I was like,
earlier, they
God
said
dang, dude.
bodies.
That breaks my
Yeah,
heart.
it's so sad.
Yeah, is this the? I know the left thought they were gonna get a socialist utopia.
Yes, not a
This
good
is the
picture.
socialist utopia they're talking about. They didn't vote for this. Actually, no.
Why is this?
They
bugging
didn't
out?
think this is what they were voting for, but this is what they voted for.
My stuff is bugging.
In the street, insanely dangerous. NYPD's right there, watching him. Yeah, hell aura, no refunds. And it's sad because, you know, we can make jokes and we can talk about this, but this is human suffering. Like,
No, it is. It's that actually makes me
This
really
guy
sad
doesn't-
looking at that.
Another 42.
he doesn't have to stand on top of a sewer to stay warm, to stay alive, because
Because it's like this guy, he's not one of the crazies harming anybody. Not saying that they deserve it either, but it's just this dude looks like he's really just trying to get warm. It's like, man, can't you go anywhere? Is it really that bad in New York?
these 16 individuals that have since passed away.
You literally go anywhere that's inside and warm. I mean, even if it is a shelter. I know a lot of them avoid the shelters like crazy, but at that point, wouldn't you?
And then
Maybe
gets
I
a
just
job.
really don't know how bad it gets out there.
Cars going back and forth.
But he doesn't get a regular job after this. This is
But also, this is what Eric Adams was. I actually saw his speech where he came out and he was criticizing Mom Donnie for it, and it's like, this is why I was trying to clean things up. And it's like, I don't know, Eric Adams, he wasn't the greatest ever, but at the same time, it's like, you can't have this image of like you're just leaving people out there in the cold to literally pass away. That's really bad.
like
That's
when I
a
was
really
seeing homeless
bad
people
image.
in Los Angeles. I don't mean this like in a derogatory way, but seeing these guys in this state always makes me see like how sad is it that this is likely the last chapter
Yeah,
of their life.
yeah.
This is how it ends.
That's
It's
dark,
not
man.
glamorous. It's socialism. But Why is that guy just standing out there in the street, barely trying to get warmth from a freaking sewer after a snowstorm? Apparently, he said cleaning up homeless camps to force them indoors is no longer required.
Tweets that he's done since the start of his administration. Thousands of sweeps have happened since 2024, but no one has been offered permanent housing. And I think the data from May.
Yeah, offering these people permanent housing is nuts. The idea that how many people actually have permanent housing over in these big cities? Like, everybody's struggling. You're saying this gentleman deserves a home. Like, yeah, get him a shelter, do something for him. But now they keep on asking. They're asking for the moon all the time. He'll promise it for him, but he'll never deliver.
Was 114 were offered a shelter. Will you continue those things they were asking you not to?
No.
And
Nope. Yeah, they're not doing it. And the sad thing is everybody, like, what is this, Google searching NYC snow endings, and there's all these different search results, like severe cold is blamed for at least 16 endings in New York City. Mamdani takes friendly fire from DSA allies as a blizzard. There's a life and death issues from New York City's winter storm pileup. Like, every single outlet, all the left-wing outlets, like Fox is saying 16 are gone, but NBC New York also saying 16 are gone. 4 days ago it was 14. 2 days ago it's 16. It keeps on going up, and they're doing nothing for them because, what is this? The councilwoman, the Democrat from Brooklyn, saying, hey, look, there was an outage that left 2,000 without power in Crunchy Granola Park Slope. Why are they calling it like that? But just the idea that what made New Yorkers think I don't want to say he's like a spoiled rich kid, but a guy that hasn't had a real job, hasn't really provided anything.
Oh, that's his music. I was like, that sounded almost identical to mine. That was weird.
Of substance.
I was like, I just closed that
tab. Now going to take charge of one of the greatest cities in America and fix it after all these actual accomplished people have done. I'm not saying I liked Cuomo. I'm not saying that I liked not Cuomo. Who was before Eric Adams? Chad. Spoiled rich kid. Yeah, he's a spoiled rich kid. Because Cuomo was a governor, right?
Bowser's DC, right?
De Blasio. There it is. Thank you. Yeah. Mayor Bill de Blasio, the guy that said, hey, if you guys get your mandated government medicine, you can get a cheeseburger. You can get some French fries. Yeah. Bill de Blasio. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, is that de Blasio?
How is he going to
I didn't even realize that was the same guy.
These career politicians, or I would like to say
it was so like ASMR cringy too. And he's like, you're telling me I can have all this if I just go get a vaccine shot, and I can have this delicious burger and fries? Yeah, is it too early in the morning to eat a burger and fries? No, we're good. Okay, yeah. I still can't believe that's real life. That was one of those you look back on and you're like, what? That was real life. I hope they write about that in the history books, whatever those look like in the future.
New York police, or a New York police captain, would have some real world experience, but then after he was seen on camera saying some racist stuff about being on his white counterparts, on the white cops, yeah, maybe he was just a guy playing the political game and not actually accomplishing stuff out there in the street. But again, how is he gonna protect New York homeless from the snowstorm when he can't even pick up the garbage? Like, look, this is how bad that one video was just from
your face is all like
from Dr. Naomi Wolf. This is some other random one. 6 feet tall, just garbage heaps taller than people out there. I would feel bad for New York, but you can't feel too bad for a place that keeps on voting for their own demise. It's sad. But then, it doesn't even mean like the garbage is the worst problem, because over here, Freedom News TV, it's like Olivia Scootercaster showing us, even when they did plow the streets, they just plowed it on top of vehicles.
It's so bad.
These cars are done.
How? I would be so
starting to look like
pissed.
the video game The Division. Exactly.
I'd be like, you mother.
You're playing the video game The Division when you're out there in the streets. But yes, snow plows all bad. Some people saying,
yeah, because then
all they're doing is plowing the snow that is.
You better get to it quick, because then it's just gonna freeze, and then you're just good luck getting out of it, trying to even like dig your way out of that, because it's just gonna be rock solid. I remember Montana. I remember Ellensburg. Yeah, it just good luck you're screwed if you leave your car out there for like more than even like 8 hours. You're just done.
In one
'Cause
embankment,
once it gets nighttime and like after a day of that, it's rock solid.
in one area, and the spreading it around, it'd be a problem from to everybody else, and it looks bad.
Aye, we are here in front of Atlanta, so, and the snow patrol is clearing up over here, big mounds of snow, but instead of carting it away, they're spreading it out equally on the entire road. So hopefully it's gonna.
This is such an analogy for socialism, saying we can't fix poverty, but you know what we can do? We can spread it around so everybody can enjoy a little bit of poverty too.
Gonna melt quicker, but look at this. It's almost like 3 inches over here.
I honestly thought he was going for the whole like, we can't solve poverty, but we can definitely make it look like we're solving poverty. Because I mean, hey, we filled all the jobs, guys. We filled the jobs. It's like, yeah, but what are you getting done? What are you getting accomplished? And it's like they never really seem to look at that aspect. And it's so obvious. I don't understand why this isn't so obvious.
It's like 15 degrees tonight, so this is all gonna become a sheet of ice. Yeah. Liberalism is a mental disorder. Smamish like Mamdani. He wants to make this place socialist. He wants to spread the snow equally.
So he said it too. Yeah,
everyone gets the same amount of snow. What do you gotta say? What do you gotta say over there, Mr. Schwartz? You're looking fine. You're looking fine. Fresh.
Yeah, whatever. But it's funny that it'd be one thing if just one place had one new hire, diversity hire, whatever it is, messing up. But apparently this was everywhere. Like this person actually captured him on recording, saying, "No. The entire department is like this. No rat is illegal on stolen trash." Yes.
He's just dumping it in the fucking bus lane.
Yeah, this is what I saw. This is the one I saw.
This guy's just having the time of his life.
What are you doing?
I would say they're playing the video in reverse, like he didn't really do it, but then gravity doesn't work that way, and this guy wouldn't be walking backwards.
Yeah. You can't get the
He's getting paid, by the way. He's getting paid our tax dollars because I think New York City needed a bailout, right?
This is so great.
This is crazy.
It's like the meme when you lie on your resume and you still get the job.
Like, what are you even getting done? What do you do? Like, you're getting a little bit of.
He's drifting.
Oh.
Yes.
I kind of want to get down there and give it a go.
You might as well. You probably have more qualifications than this dude. Yeah,
like
look, what are you doing?
Dumping it in the street.
Who told him to do this? Yeah, bobcats are so much fun, but not on our time. Yeah. You're done with the internet.
So it's already funny when you hear the proposals for like equity and stuff like that. It's like you realize how stupid that sounds, and like when you actually put it into practice, you're gonna end up with really, really bad people at their job, just really bad at their job. Yeah, people really bad at their job. Said that wrong, but this and now we're finally seeing it. I was actually talking to somebody about this. This is like the year where we're finally getting to see on display all of these things that they're like, they virtue signal and they go hard about how we're such bad people that we don't believe what they believe. But now that it's being put into practice, it's kind of like the Billie Eilish thing. She just got called out. Now everybody's showing up to her house because she says, the whole stolen land thing. Yeah. It's hilarious. Now it's completely, the rubber band is actually starting to backfire, and it's glorious. I've been waiting like 10 years to see this, and it's hilarious.
Already, no, guys, it only gets worse from here. Because, yeah, there's not this part, but this girl, when the snow plowing is this bad, yeah, we laugh at this, but actual New Yorkers...
They do suffer, and it sucks that people get caught in the crossfire, but it's like, you have to understand this is why you don't vote for this shit. It sounds good. They do a great job glazing it and making it sound like such a utopia that everybody will be included. And it's like, no, the way you guys go about it is not the right way. We want it. Let's include everybody, but let's make sure that we're doing things in a rational way. And all of these proposals end up being the most batshit, half-baked ideas ever.
suffer. Like this woman, I think is like this. I think she's elderly, and she can't even get her way around the city right now.
This is blowing my. You see how this lady can't even barely get across the street because
I've actually seen that in several areas I've lived. So, I mean, it's not saying it's okay. I'm just saying like that's not that out of the ordinary. A lot of places just don't know how to plow.
yeah, I want to shovel the snow wrong.
It's like at least like leave a spot, yeah. And
I dig that because she recorded it. She got off of social media. She documented what's happening, but she didn't like National Geographic when they see a gazelle being eaten by a pack of tigers. I'm getting that gazelles on tigers. Gazelle gets eaten by a pack of lionesses. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
She actually went out there and helped. I dig this.
I got you. I was on the same.
Because they wrong. Why would they shovel it like this?
How do disabled people travel in the snow in New York City? Because chances are they don't. I was just privileged enough to have my boyfriend help me yesterday. I had to go into work for a grant proposal, and no one was forcing me to go, and it's okay. Don't.
Insanely dangerous for you to be on the street like this, but that's how it is across the entire city. It's only bad. It's getting worse. So what is Mayor Mamdani working on while disabled New Yorkers can't even get to their appointments? While old ladies can't get to the grocery store? While city employees Tokyo drift their way, or Tokyo drift our tax dollars away. You know, what happens? Yeah, class action lawsuit against New York City, 100%. There will be one. They'll pay it out, but it's going to come out of your pocketbooks because they'll need a bailout. Because what are they doing with this time? What is this number one priority? Helping out Haitians.
To Haitian New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. If you have temporary protected status, you've been forced to live in limbo for the last year. Unsure whether this country would allow you to stay and build your lives with dignity. Temporary protected status for Haitians was set to end today, February.
Okay, so it ended. I don't care what no federal judge appointed by Biden says. It ended. Go home. We helped you out. Go home.
3rd. Last night, a federal judge temporarily blocked that termination while the case moves forward. But let's be clear. The federal government will appeal, and this temporary protection is not permanent. You deserve stability and safety, and New York City stands with you.
16 homeless New Yorkers lost their life. Has he made
16.
a statement about that, or is he spending all his time? I don't have the video pulled up. Making his big grand entrance when he's on top of that tower, all the drones flying around, like him doing his social media moment, because he's still just providing vibes. He's not providing solutions, just more vibes. But again, New Yorkers voted for vibes instead of
vibes.
Reality.
That was the whole Kamala thing. Yeah, we're going on. I think they might even like said that in the campaign. It's about vibes or something like that, which is like how telling. How telling is that once you're an adult and you know how this works?
Urge you to speak with an immigration lawyer and explore every possible legal path.
Am I going to be paying for that immigration lawyer?
Way you may qualify for, whether asylum, adjustment of status, or any other path.
And again, here's the problem I have with this. There's subtitles here. I think he's done other campaign videos in other languages on multiple occasions.
Ooh.
My problem is, if you want to be an American, cool, you're seeking asylum, you have these issues. But if you've been here, how long has that temporary protection order been in place? For like 4 years when Biden was in office? If you've been here for 4 years, why do you still not speak the language? I'm not going to be the big, like, you get here and you learn the language, you get out. But it confuses me when it's controversial for, I think it was California. What state was it that now required driver's license testing to be in English only? And I'm like, if the street signs are in English only, the test has to be in English only. What is this? But this whole thing about you should seek asylum, you should have dignity.
I didn't even think of that.
If they haven't learned English yet, or they're not trying to learn English at this point in time, where they couldn't even just look at the subtitles and try to figure it out, that probably isn't the person that I think is going to assimilate well. The TPS for Haiti started in 2010. Yeah, so if you got here in 2010, and it's been 16 years, you still have not learned the language, I'm not trying to be too harsh, but I don't think you ever will. And I don't think you're ever going to be able to assimilate to American culture.
There's no desire to assimilate. And at that point, it's like, well, what are we doing here? Like, if you're going to be a dick about it, then I'm going to start being a dick about it.
and the temporary protection order should expire. But yeah, so he's gonna help him out.
Permanent residency. New York City
Florida,
offers free, trusted immigration.
Yeah, here it is. Here's that word free. The word free doesn't mean free. The word free means I'm gonna take money from somebody and give it to you. And it's not even like free healthcare, free housing for an American citizen down on his luck, got addicted to some sort of narcotic, and now needs to not freeze to death at a New York snowstorm. This is just somebody that's been here for 16 years, never learned the language, and now needs a government-paid-for lawyer to fight what the American people en masse voted for. This is a huge problem.
Permanent residency. New York City offers free, trusted immigration legal support.
Free. It's not free.
With services in over 200 languages.
It's services in 200 languages. That's why there should be an application process. Because if you're going to come here and you're going to be a net positive, and I'm sorry to say we need net positives to this country because it's not a Disney movie, it's not unlimited resources, everybody can prosper, it's finite resources for a finite amount of people. Some people have it, other people have not. It's a sick, sad world we live in, but the idea that you want to say, we want to live in a permanent welfare state, give out free things, we have a finite amount of free things, but we also want to have an open border to places for over 200 locations across the planet. That system will always destroy itself. You can't have open borders and welfare state concurrently because it's always going to run out. We don't live in a Star Trek universe of abundance. Sad to say, you just saying, you putting the subtitles in another language is bad enough, but also saying free, meaning I paid for it, but 200 languages makes me feel like you're just running on vibes now, while the actual New Yorkers that voted for you are suffering.
Yep.
All directly. By
they have to pay for all of it. It's like, dude,
City
it's
Hall
so
standard.
messed up.
Yeah, the City Hall stamp.
All for optics.
I don't even know what is this. Is this Haitian? It looks like I don't know if this is the offensive way to say it. It's a language. PT. Is that chat? Is that like the? Is that Hebrew? No. It's that's the correct language, chat. I don't know. That's what Haitians speak. I forget. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Is that it? Division agent? I don't know. That guy's just a troll. Ban that man. No, I'm kidding. Don't do it. Yeah, you're already sick of him on the other side of the country because it's sad. It's like, that's what he's dealing with. But here's the thing. Free this, free that. Help the Haitians first, not your suffering citizens right now. Immigrants first. This is a video almost unrelated, but related. This is a shocking moment I was unaware of.
You needed a reason to be pissed off at your government today. About 1/3 of refugees end up becoming homeowners within 3 years of coming to the United States.
Guys, look, I'm in an apartment. Granted, a phenomenal apartment. There are no homeless outside. There's no drug use outside. I feel safe enough to
living
walk
in a
out
freak
with a nice
basement, man.
watch, not be robbed.
There's like no hope of
I live
even
in a nice
having a
place.
house, especially for the future generations.
I'm a millennial. Home ownership was out of the picture for my entire life until my YouTube channel did well.
It's never even been an option for me.
What's going on? How much more evidence do we need? This is an issue. This is an issue.
States. That's crazy. Now, this is like an awesome stat. I don't want to hate on home ownership, but here's something that I'm curious about. You can look at this two ways. One, these people are so productive and being held back in their own societies that they flourish once they get to America. Now, that's great.
Because there's no American tax cattle to prop them up.
Stronghold. Maybe that isn't.
And I don't mind that to a certain extent. However, what long-term goal is it that we're just going to continue pumping out refugees from these nations rather than having them stay at home and fix the conditions?
Exactly. That's what they keep on talking about. We can take in every single refugee, 1 million refugees every year from all these impoverished nations. It's never going to stop the billions of individuals suffering poverty. It sounds a little callous, but if you have a authoritarian dictatorship, you never pull that out of. You never have a revolution to get democracy back. If you have abject poverty and famine, you never get out of that unless you have your strongest young men in the country to build. But if we have all our military-age males floating over here on boats, going God knows where, that country is now doomed to stay in abject poverty. And they're never going to fix it. The idea that somehow it makes it better to bring them over here and give them free housing instead, it's a broken system, but sad to say the Democrats have realized this broken system
It's just getting them votes. It does.
makes some liberals feel warm inside, meanwhile giving us a supermajority in our voter base once we give them amnesty. Let's keep on doing it. We can't solve the issues. We can run on vibes and enrich ourselves in the meantime. It is scary.
So that they can be prosperous and we can end this refugee crisis once and for all. And number two is, do you think that they're actually this productive, or do you think they're just given a direct line of contact to the government and all the benefits that should be going to you to the point where they're now more likely to become homeowners than the regular U.S. citizens of this country? Why are we paying taxes? You needed a reason.
It is a major issue. 1/3 of them becoming homeowners when they get here is a major issue. We got to get rid of it. But here's the thing. This isn't even the worst thing he's doing, saying we're going to help out people, give them taxpayer-funded lawyers, not free lawyers, free to them, but we're paying for them.
So I need 3 more?
What is he doing? He's covering this. Obviously, I have to stop it. But he's visiting a guy that got surrounded him from the police.
And as you said, I spoke with the Chakraborty family, and I visited Chavez in the hospital. And there is no family should have to endure this kind of pain.
Yeah, no family. It's unfortunate, but we live in the real world, not a Disney Pixar movie. But also, who did this? Is this the cops' fault, or is it the person that got hit? Can't even play because he's gonna take a knife. He's gonna run at him. Unfortunate that he had to get hit, but that's the reality we live in. This is the same thing when Kamala Harris visited Jacob Blake in jail. Not jail. He wasn't in jail. He was in the hospital and said, "I'm proud of you. You can digitally or your ex-girlfriend try to kidnap the kids." I think it was like toss one of the cops on the ground and be reaching for a knife, and Kamala Harris will say, "I'm proud of you because you mark off all the check boxes of what is a liberal tragedy." Mamdani's doing the same thing, but the more
I remember seeing somebody on Facebook, her narrative was that one was just like, oh man, that was a long time ago. Something about cops gunned down a poor, innocent, unarmed black man, of course. And it was just like, did you watch the video? He was reaching for a knife. Like it was weird. Like, yeah, there was a lot more to that than just what you guys just make these narratives and they always fall apart because then like the evidence comes out and you're just like, oh, you're just lying about that, or you're just really trying to push something. It's like, why? Just go after the truth and you can't go wrong, I swear.
Disgusting thing on Twitter, on Twitter is I saw one of these community notes on proposed community notes on this is missing important context. The man in the video is schizo. His family says they called for an ambulance, not for police. So here's the thing. If it was the ambulance employee or like the one of the paramedics.
Yeah, so the paramedics get hurt.
And they got bladed by this guy.
Yeah, and they got to wrangle him with a knife. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, who is supposed to... paramedics are not geared for that. That's not their job.
Going through an episode because he grabbed it and was fighting him. Mamdani would never, in a million years, be in the hospital with that ambulance employee saying, the paramedic saying, no family should be going through this. Like, I feel really bad for you. No. It's just because a police interaction happened. His woke base demands it. So he's over there making this speech. It's absolutely disgusting. Never mind the fact that I know firsthand, if you got a guy going crazy like this, paramedics, not paramedics, not even the fire department is looking at this and saying, we're going in there. He's got a blade. If he ended one of his family members, Mamdani isn't going to that hospital. If he ended one of the fire department employees, the firefighters, he's not going to that funeral. He doesn't care unless he can gain political points from it. But the sad part is, somebody on Twitter said, the important context is he's the real victim. He's having a mental episode. It's like, yes, sad to say, these are real. We should try to care for them. But in the event they're violently attacking somebody, you can't just say, I guess I get ended now because he's having a manic episode. Like, that's not how the world works. I don't blame the cop, but here he is. The police chief's new boss is now in charge of saying no family should have to undergo what your child underwent. They're likely going to go after the cop now. Yeah, exactly. Make asylums great again. That's exactly what it is. But the sad part is, he campaigned on making the buses fast and free. This is a travesty in itself. But he can't even follow through on free transportation. That's like the bedrock of socialism, right?
Excuse me, sir, I have a question. So I saw on the bus it said, and I see the sign that says fares required. I thought the buses were supposed to be free now because, like, Mom Donnie just won.
Yeah. He's almost saying it sarcastically because he knows it was never going to work.
That's funny. That's a good one. When does that start?
That's a good one.
That's never going to stop. Never going to happen? All right, well, I want to say I appreciate what you do, my guy. All right, have a good...
As he's behind what looks like bulletproof glass.
Well, my guy, listen, you are the heart and soul, the backbone of New York. Stay safe.
I don't care if you come off afraid.
Yeah, because he's afraid. Are there any New Yorkers that have been there recently? Is this bulletproof glass? Is this like stabbed glass? What is this?
You man, thank you, bro. Have a good one.
I've been doing free
it's just plastic?
Before, Mondami. I'm the man.
Yes, sir. All right, you got to run for the next election. I'll vote for you.
And here's the thing: New Yorkers would probably be way better off if that bus driver that actually knows what New Yorkers go through every day, if that bus driver was the mayor, they'd be way better off. Because at least he's worked a regular job and knows what suffering looks like. Not this whole progressive, I'm a Nepo baby. Is that COVID glass from before? Oh my God. It's a sneeze guard? That's all it is? It's COVID glass, guys. That is plastic so you can't be spit on. That's all it is. Oh my God. New York is over. It's cooked. Who's the governor? She had a lot of plastic surgery. I'm not saying it to be derogatory. I'm just explaining her. The governor of New York State, chat will tell me, Mayor Mamdani, it's over, guys. Like the whole great city is done. Hopefully, California will learn from their mistakes and vote in Mayor Spencer Pratt, Governor Chad Bianco. Oh, cool. Thank you. Someone said my cursor is larger than your mom's because you're blind. I mean, I spend way too much time on the computer and screens. Like, my cursor needs to be that large because I need to give my eyes some rest.
That's it, huh? Alright. Come back. Oh, what do we got next? Okay, game. I do want to watch this, but I can't stream live stuff, so I got to be careful with what I click on. Nicki Minaj is I've been hearing a lot about Nicki Minaj lately. I don't know where she came from with all this. Like, she's just, I don't want to say she's going off the rails because she's actually getting after things that are true, but yeah, being very maybe it's just some people digest the red pill a little bit differently. For me, I got pretty loud too, so I'd probably be in the same boat. Especially if imagine if you just now started to see things and you're just like, what is happening around me? And it would be rapid fire in 2026. And I saw it in 2014 to 15. So back then things were still tame. They were still pretty mild, but I did notice the shift back then. But if you were just now starting to see it, It would be a lot. It would be overwhelming, and you'd probably, and especially if you're a celebrity, you would be, oh, what the hell? You'd be like telling everybody. You'd be tweeting. Yeah, it would be a whirlwind for sure.
Rapper Nicki Minaj says that she doesn't believe that the moon landing ever happened.
Minaj appeared on the Katie Miller podcast on Tuesday, where Miller, the wife of White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, asked Nicki Minaj if she had heard about government seeding the sky or other conspiracy theories like the moon landing. Let's listen.
You know, like other conspiracy theories, like did we actually land a man on the moon? Did the president get the elections?
I don't think we landed on the moon.
You don't? No. I asked Elon this one. He said we did indeed land on the moon.
Minaj also said that she started voicing her political and social concerns after watching President Trump, as she sees it, being mistreated and bullied in public.
Meanwhile, CNN's chief data analyst shows that polls suggest Americans agree with Nicki Minaj, maybe not about the moon landing, but they do agree about voter ID requirements. Let's listen.
I got all this polling on the screen going back since 2018. You'll notice on all of it, it's all north of 75%, 76%, 76%, 76%, 81%, and then 83%.
And this is CNN. That's why this is such a huge story. That I don't know if they're trying to save face for the company because they realize that they're basically destined for ruin if they don't change, if they don't really try something drastic soon, very soon, because yeah, I think all legacy news is starting to tank, and we're really starting to see it now. We were talking about it for the past like 5-ish, I mean, I would say almost 10 years. That's when I noticed how much they were lying. It's like, yeah, you can't keep going down this path. Too many, if I'm noticing it, too many other people are going to really start catching on to it, and we're starting to see it now. So I think maybe they're trying to, save face, trying to save the company, being like, hey, we got to try to play more middle of the road now. We can't be activists in here being tribalistic with this. We can't be playing to that base anymore because it doesn't work. There's too many lies. That's why. It's just based on lies.
Last year of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj. They favor photo ID to be able to vote.
So there are popular Nicki Minaj stances and less. I don't know what percent.
Well, I really hope he tries to argue against this. I really want to see a clear, concise argument why we shouldn't, or why we should make it illegal for people to show their ID. That was one step further than just being like, no, they shouldn't have to show their ID to vote, but making it illegal to show your ID. That's a whole new, like, what the hell is this? California. It's California.
Think we didn't land on the moon.
Yeah, I imagine it's not negligible, I would think, but I'm sure it's a minority.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's just one of these people who has followed an unusual political trajectory. She had several years back been pretty critical of Trump and immigration in particular, and now she's really all in and has really embraced that kind of online democrats and all that sort of stuff, which I don't love. I see Jasmine Crockett was complaining about Minaj, saying Crockett says something to the effect of she doesn't deal with sellouts or can't be bothered with sellouts or something of that nature. Look, I find it a very bizarre path that Nicki Minaj is on. There is, as you probably know, quite a lot of speculation about the fact that Nicki Minaj has a brother incarcerated for a very serious crime and a very long prison sentence, and there's a good amount of speculation as to whether she's really cozying up to Trump to try to get a pardon for her brother. I mean, anything's possible. I don't think it's I mean, obviously Nicki Minaj's views and mine would diverge in many ways right now. I only a couple of years ago bought my daughter concert tickets to go see Nicki Minaj, but I'm not sure how eager she would be to go see her now.
The right does not have that many of its own
Nicki
celebrities.
Minaj
So whenever you have someone who starts evincing a not even ideologically conservative, but a pro-Trump sort of
viewpoint,
in entertainment or in celebrity, they are immediately embraced, and everything they say is embraced, and everything they say is praised. So there is really a temptation to do it if you're open to it. To lean all the way into it. There's a base of people who will love you for it, but it means there's not a lot of gatekeeping on this, like the moon landing not happening. I mean, it's not a really harmful view to hold it. It's
eccentric view to hold.
It's an incorrect view.
And I mean, I just think that as she becomes more alienated from, what would have been her support customer
That's what I'm
base,
saying. Then you lean into it more.
Exactly. Then you lean into it more and more, and so I expect she's just going to do the rounds of other kind of podcasts of that nature and make her views known in that way.
I like that Katie Miller's correction comes from Elon Musk himself, who she worked for briefly, who who has the goal of getting us on Mars.
Yes.
So he would know. He's building all the rockets.
Right.
We were in fact on the moon.
Talking as somewhat tangentially of X or Twitter and Nicki Minaj, one of the most viral tweets I ever did was in praise of her nemesis, Cardi B, which went viral for complicated reasons. I was praising Cardi B's intelligence, and I do think she's genuinely very intelligent, and some people agreed and many people disagreed.
I have a difficult time, I must confess, telling them apart. Musically.
Controversial view. Okay.
It's just not. It's not my kind of music.
Dude, right?
I'm not actually a
I
music
said the same
guy,
thing
like,
the other
at
day.
all, so
I said the same.
It took me a long time to know who Bad Bunny is. I don't. I'm not.
It's all the same. It's all the same. Lil this, Lil that.
Anyway, whatever.
Well, that does it for us on Rising Live. Thanks so much.
Like, and all the music is just garbage. It's just hot garbage. Mainstream, greenlit, the most bottom of the barrel shit that you can come up with for music now. And I don't know. It's funny that people say they're so talented. I'm like, I do not see it. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just my taste in music. Maybe I'm just being biased. But damn, if that's really it's mainstream. They put up the worst crap. And by the way, good to see Niall back. We were saying that the other day. It's like, whatever happened to Niall? Because what's her name? Lindsay. She's the one. I can't even keep them all straight anymore. It was Bree for a long time, and then after that, it was like we were saying, a revolving door of just co-hosts coming through there. Yep. Should we get into this one? I think we probably should. Not Mr. Ballin. I've been listening to a lot of him lately, and he's great. Just to get away from politics, he is a great person just to tell you stories. Ghost stories, mysteries, stuff like that.
Wow. Okay, how do you feel about ripping people from their kind of energy? Like we should rip people apart from their families?
Are you a man?
I'm up with this guy.
Wow. Wow, is that a question? Wow. Okay, how do you feel about ripping people from their families? Does that feel good? Fucking house here.
Sir, I need to...
And there it is.
What's wrong with you people? Why are you calling a woman a man?
Why did you just call me a house N-bomb with a hard R? Like...
You know, we've reached peak crazy in the city of Minneapolis when you have a left-wing activist, and by the way,
you cut the best part.
To censor it out from the intro of this video, getting up in the face of ICE agents and noticing that those ICE agents that are supposed to be evil white racists and white supremacists are actually Hispanic and, of course, in this case, a black person, and they decided that they're going to call this person, again, a bunch of white progressives made this decision, a house N-word. Now, I will point out for everybody out there in the audience that if there's even a hint, a whiff of a black person being called an N-word in any context, in any other situation, that many of these left-wing progressives will defend that black person's right to beat the crap out of, nearly murder, and sometimes actually murder the utterer of that slur. But without hesitation, these people do it, and the reason that they did it, or at least what appears to be the reason, is because this ICE agent identified one of these people as an actual man that is pretending to be a woman. So in their mind, transes outranks black, and obviously if you're an ICE agent, that makes you an evil white racist. Maybe they're fans of Crystal Ball, who can't.
I don't even think it's that transes outrank black. It's more that you're not part of the cult, so you're just done. We can call you whatever we want. We can call you any name in the book. And honestly, they come up with this, the most racist shit I've ever heard. That's why I say the lefties are the most racist people I've ever met in my entire life, excuse me. But I have met people on the right who are legitimately racist, and it's just like, you're just that way, huh? Okay. But I mean, the left, the thing is when you meet those people, they're a little more like closeted about it. They don't show it as much, but the left is like, yeah, you ain't part of the cult. I will say the most racist things I can come up with, and it is wild to me that it's like, how do you not reflect on that? How do you not just be like, oh, what did I just say? Oh, I usually get very mad at people for saying what I just said. 2026.
Even fathom the idea that minorities would work for a policing agency, because minorities all have a single mind, in her opinion.
But not only do you have no moral compass, and how many times have you seen these guys? They've got their masks on, so you can't see their whole face. But what you can see, it's like a brown skin tone and a dude who looks like his last name is probably like Lopez or Hernandez.
Yeah. What does that tell you?
Or something. It's like,
they're not white supremacists.
What is wrong with you? Not only do you not have morality, apparently you don't have self-preservation. I mean, these people hate you. They hate you. They hate your family.
Crystal, so you've been doing this for so long. How can you not understand any aspect of this? I don't understand how you're successful unless you're just a shill. You just make your money shill.
Hate your kids. They hate your future grandkids. They don't think you belong here. You're not a quote unquote heritage American. You're never going to belong. And you're the one implementing the violent force against your own community. I just can't wrap my head around that.
And yeah, this is just one example of the absurdities that federal agents have to deal with in the city of Minneapolis. And by the way, local police as well. And by the way, random everyday citizens that these people have determined look enough like ICE as well, because they're just going absolutely crazy. And one of the ways that they're also doing this is by erecting barriers all over the city of Minneapolis to run their own checkpoints to fight against the influx of these Nazi ICE agents who are demanding papers and running their own checkpoints. Wait a minute. Now look, we're going to break this down. We're going to get into this. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via
actualjusticewarrior.com/Ewing. No, Actual Justice Warrior is great. You guys should follow him.
Police are stepping in after a community created their own method of public safety against ICE. Uba Ali joins us live in Minneapolis with more on that. Uba?
Well, Frank.
Not going to say it.
They say this is all in the name of public safety, a grassroots response to immigration enforcement. They say it's hurting their communities.
So
how did I know you're going to have that take?
First of all, I just want to say to all the ICE agents and Border Patrol agents that are in and around the Minneapolis area, if you're looking for a Somali to deport, I happen to have just found one on the local news. Her name is Uba Ali. Go and pick her up. She's right near all those white people doing the protests. And although I'm just kidding about deporting her specifically, I do want to point out that this is actually the closest a Somali has ever gotten to one of these ICE protests. These people are not actually involved. It is overwhelming overwhelmingly white progressives that are in on this terror, doing these checkpoints and all this goofy nonsense. And by the way, these are also the people that are the sacrifices being primed by the Democratic Party in order to die, again, on behalf of their Somali brethren. It is very telling, in my opinion, that even though they're allegedly the target of this whole situation, they're not represented at all whatsoever in the protest movement against ICE. And this is likely due to the fact that they're too busy running fraudulent daycare centers. It takes a lot of Somalis to watch those kids that aren't there. And in addition to that, a lot of Somalis are actually just American citizens. I think it's like 90%. So this really isn't an issue that actually impacts them.
At this roundabout at 34th and 17th, flames burn as people stand guard.
We are literally creating a place that we know who's coming and going in and out of our neighborhoods.
So what did I say? Almost all of the people that are involved in this
that we know who's coming and going in and out of our neighborhoods.
So what did
You mean like borders?
I say? Almost all of the people that are involved in this nonsense happen.
I swear, if I was just waking up from like 10 years ago, I'd be like, these people aren't being serious. No, they're trolling. They're just, you can't convince me that they're actually being serious. But they're actually being serious. That's why it's like, we've gone full retard. We are in the era of full retard.
To be white people, they also happen to be disproportionately white women, and the irony is just getting more irony when you have this woman saying, look, what we're doing right here is making sure our community actually has these checkpoints so we could determine who exactly is coming into said community. Because in reality, I don't know if you guys know this, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, you can't actually have a community if everybody just floods in there without actually knowing who they are. We need to have these checkpoints, we need to have these barriers, we need to build a wall, so to speak, in order to keep these people out, and that way we can do this vetting process, again, to make sure only the right kind of people are coming in. Because what you guys might not realize is that although all people happen to be people, they don't typically share the same values as the people within the community, and thus we need to set up this checkpoint in order to keep the undesirables out. Again, the irony of these people going out and chanting those stupid chants about how, oh, we don't need any border walls or anything like that. Borders are imaginary lines on paper, while they erect their own borders as a solution to what they see as invaders coming into their community. Absurd, ridiculous, and totally lost on these stupid people.
In the middle of the road at 32nd and
you
Cedar Avenue, a makeshift roadblock turned this intersection into a roundabout.
Like, this is another thing we were talking about. How you are taking it upon yourself. You're taking the time out of your day to go out there and do this. I mean, allegedly, a lot of these people are getting paid, and I can understand the motive behind that. So you're just like, okay, this is my job. But for the people who are really so half-baked, they're going out there on a daily basis, and they really think they're protesting for something, but they don't even know why they're protesting. And they don't even take 5 seconds to consider, like, hey, what's the logic in this? What that lady said was just like straight up. Every year, I think it's like it can't get more retarded than this, and we just keep getting more retarded. And okay, so this is our milestone, guys. There's going to be another one because this is progressivism. It progresses. If it's progressing toward retarded, yeah, it's gonna hit it. It's what is it though? Like, how do we get to retarded? Is there something? I don't know. What is past retarded? Does it loop around? Is it the horseshoe theory?
Cars slowed as drivers noticed. Some honked.
That's actually, my mind started wandering there. It's like the horseshoe theory. I bet you the right's going to get just as retarded. Something tells me the right's going to start getting really retarded. And then the level-headed right. Because I want to say the left used to be fairly level-headed. Back in like the 2000s, like late 90s, 2000s, they were all fine. They were all just reasonable people. But yeah, I'm wondering if the same thing's going to happen to the right, because as of right now, the majority of them are pretty reasonable because they're just political refugees that got kicked out of the left, or they were just centrists and they see how crazy the left has gotten. They're like, I want nothing to do with that. But I do wonder with some of the right now, because they were starting to, starting with proposals for censorship. You can argue as to why, but at the same time, it's like you guys were still calling for censorship. And I'm not saying the whole right, it's just certain subsects of the right. But it'll get interesting. And me, I'm just here to watch. I'm here to watch the entire story unfold. To me, this is one big sitcom.
Others asked questions, and one man brought food for the people standing watch.
Now look, to be 100% clear, if you are stopped at a makeshift checkpoint, like we're in the Mad Max universe or something of the sort, and a mob of people surround you in order to attack you, you are perfectly within your rights to defend yourself. I recommend trying to get out of that situation as quickly as possible, and definitely 100%, I do not recommend getting out of the car, because as we've seen time and time again, these left-wingers not only get violent extraordinarily quickly, but they also do so without consequence, because of course, Minneapolis, Minnesota, they all bend over backwards in order to protect the rioters, in order to protect the disruptors, the people who want to destroy civilization, because again, they are in line with them. This always happens when you have Republicans in power. In this case, it's President Trump. In the previous case, during the Black Lives Matter riots, it was President Trump, and in those instances, no rules apply for left-wing activists. And by the way, even when they contradict themselves by putting up these checkpoints, obviously this is just allowed to be because, oh my God, what are we going to do? Actually enforce regular, ordinary laws? We need the checkpoints, we need the paper checks, because if we don't have that sort of thing, guess what? We could be in a situation where ICE or Border Patrol might check people's paper. What if they set up checkpoints? That would be absolutely horrible.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much. How did it make you feel just seeing a community checkpoint in your neighborhood?
Well, it felt fine. I don't have any trouble with folks helping out.
Wade Haynes has been standing at this corner twice a day for one reason: to stand up against ICE activity and keep his community safe.
So it's also important for you guys to point out something that is common amongst all of these activists, and that is the fact
just a little bit of vigilantism in the daytime.
They never have anywhere to be except for at these particular locations. And as we found out with the people who raided the church in that whole Don Lemon fiasco, part of the reason why some of these people don't have any jobs or appear to not have any jobs is because they're getting money from the taxpayer or from these nonprofits that often get money from the taxpayer in order to be professional activists. This guy shows up 2 times a day in order to monitor the activity at this checkpoint, which, by the way, is just them putting up garbage in the middle of the road and checking people's license plates and whatnot. And they're able to do this because they just don't have anywhere to be. They can conduct endless interviews. They can block stuff off like this. And this is one of the reasons why there aren't larger...
It's not easy coming out here twice a day and setting up shop and making sure our community is safe. It's like you're just burning stuff in the middle of the street, sir.
Conservative protest movements, because
it's not easy. Like I said, it's not easy.
George Soros or the taxpayer funneling money to your crap organizations in order for you to get away with this kind of stuff. Now look, eventually the Minneapolis police ended up clearing this roadblock. They ended up getting rid of this checkpoint because obviously this ends up creating a lot of problems. Now, of course, we've heard instances of ambulances and fire trucks being stuck in certain locations due to the actions of these protesters, who, by the way, are protesting off of people who are not American citizens, who are illegally in the United States of America, because they obviously matter more. They're the God tier citizens.
He chose this corner. Others chose this intersection.
It's kind of inspiring. It's like, wow, okay. We've got folks out there who are kind of taking care of us, looking out for us. That's good.
But Minneapolis police stepped in, clearing the roadblock and restoring flow of traffic.
And again, I will also point out that despite the fact that all of these people are out here to defend the Somalis, there appear to be no Somalis here at all whatsoever. Apparently, they're better.
It is crazy that they don't really fully. A lot of them don't understand. It's like, why is this happening? It's like, how would you feel if some right wingers went out there and did that shit? No, it's not okay. It doesn't work. That's not okay in a civil society. You can't just set up Chaz We saw how that went.
At leering their lesson than these regular ordinary white
Great
people.
farm.
But in
Great
addition to
farm.
that, I will
It
also
really
point out
was.
that despite the fact that the Minneapolis police are clearing up these obstructions, there are no arrests made. And if you live in a major metropolitan area, especially one run by Democrats, you know that fines and fees for improperly storing your garbage are very commonplace. And yet these people are allowed to throw their garbage in the middle of the street. They get it cleared up at the taxpayer expense. There are no arrests, so there's nothing really to stop them from doing it again.
Honestly, I'm kind of sad about it.
Still, residents say the roadblock was necessary.
And the reason I highlight that specifically is because this is a story from like 18 hours ago where they took down this barrier. But
And how many people that are in that street, how many of them actually live there? That's my question.
we had stories from 3 weeks ago where they were putting up and again had those barriers taken down, only for them to reemerge because there's no consequences for these actions.
We need to keep our neighbors safe, so we will be doing this again.
And look, they admit what I just told you. Because there's no consequences, because there's no
I need to
punishment,
get another
this
altar
woman
anyway,
is
it's
very
fine.
boldly going on television and saying, you know what, we're going to do this very thing again. We're going to make it happen. The barriers are going back up, despite the fact that already you've had the police clear them out multiple different times. And again, these people are on television. The organizers, the actors, the bad actors in this particular case are visible. You could see their faces. Their names are displayed on the local news media. And yet the Minneapolis police not making the arrests, not doing what is necessary to stop them, because spoiler alert, they're in favor of this disruption. They want the chaos because they want to point to the evil bad orange man and say he's responsible for the chaos. But obviously this is nonsense. Obviously this shouldn't be allowed. But unfortunately the obvious is often overlooked whenever the Democrats are acting out. So I guess they just have to deal with it if you're a regular ordinary person in and around this neighborhood. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think down.
Well, Cannon and the Fabitter. Is this some sort of like Rammstein? Can't play music though. I want to click on it. I'm always so tempted to click on new metal. There's been a lot of new metal too. I need to get onto that channel. Oh, is this live? Pass. I always want to click on live stuff too. Bill Gates might be in some stuff. I don't know. Is he too big to fail? Yeesh. A drive-by at a bus stop in Seattle? Oh, gross. I don't even think I want to click on it. Don't want to do it. Feel like it's a little quiet this morning. That was interesting. 2 cops quit after the demon encounter. A lot of those, though, it's just like, it's not enough details for you really to have like a firm opinion on the story. It's like, do you believe it? Do you not? And it's like, do you believe that they believe it at least? And it's like, you don't even have enough details for that. So I did want to start that at some point. All right, Crowder, I'll give you.
I thought this place was going to be like really tense. And I'm thinking like, is that a Starbucks next to a Pete's Coffee? Next to a Burger King?
You could go back in 2008 and picture Bill Burr saying like, look, these people write these rich comics going to fucking Saudi Arabia. Like, no one's talking about the fact they're beheading journalists. Starbucks and a Burger King. Go fuck yourself. You found the food court. He is the caricature that he hated for 15 years. This next thing, we were talking about overpopulation. You know, You know, someone who parroted this quite a bit for a while was Bill Burr. Now,
with the whole cruise ships.
Yeah, like
put everybody on a cruise
we can't solve this problem because no one wants to acknowledge that half of you have to like walk off into the ocean, right? That's what he would say.
Yeah, he had a whole bit about cruise ships and how people who like cruise ships should drown in them
because he believed in overpopulation,
decrease the surplus population. Yeah.
So here's the thing with a lot of these podcast bros, and I know Bill Burr isn't necessarily, but I'll sort of tie it all together. Bill Burr, at one point, the arguably greatest stand-up comedian walking this planet. A lot of people aren't thrilled with him now. And I get it. There are a lot of artists out there who, the minute they become successful, people turn on them and they say that they're a sellout. That's not always the case. You have plenty of comedians who don't do that. For example, Louis C.K., people still really like him. Shane Gillis would be an example. Of course, Nick DiPaolo.
Yeah, I guess I don't know enough about Bill Burr's career to really be like, did he sell out? He did seem like he changed a little, or he just leaned into a lot of the lefty narratives after a while, but maybe he got pressured in. Wasn't it because of something with his wife or something? I don't know. I can't remember the details. I just don't. Again, I've never really found him that amazing, so I've never really paid that close of attention.
But Bill Burr, it's not that his views have adapted. It's not that in the face of new information, okay, he's moderated some views or he leans a different way. There's a very big difference between that, which is natural, which is healthy, and a complete 180 to where your perspective as an artist is completely unrecognizable. And it's exacerbated by the fact that he tries to act and convince people that he was always like this. So this is, I think, the problem that Bill Burr is facing. All the things that he's saying now could quite literally be material that he would have used in his dumb guy voice 15 years ago. And what I mean by that is he would create an antagonist voice to simply sort of straw man or to create, a stereotype of someone who would say something dumb. He's saying those things now. Here's a clip of what I'm talking about for those of you who aren't fans.
That's how it goes down.
Might sound more like
Not just some guy
Fire Marshal Bill.
just standing up there. Negroes in the pool.
Yeah.
Do you approve of this? I work
Just
at the bank.
over
Can
the
I be
top.
fired immediately, please? I'm just saying, can you just make the shit like believable?
And by the way, that was a great bit. One of my favorites. Highly recommended. Now let's go to Bill Burr today. And he starts really loathing his audience. I'll explain to you why. Here he is defending his performance in Saudi Arabia when they had that comedy festival, and there was some backlash.
And everybody's just regular. They're dressed different, but they're regular. Like people just shooting the shit. Hey, how you doing? You know, welcome. We're saying, hey, we know we're happy to be here. And we're driving around, and then I'm just like going like, I thought this place was going to be like really tense. And I'm thinking like, is that a Starbucks? Next to a Pete's Coffee? Next to a Burger King? Next to a McDonald's? Next to a Pizza Hut? Next to a Dunkin' Donuts? Next to a Krispy Kreme? Next to a Cheesecake Factory? Next to a KFC? Next to a Chili's?
Think of the difference. He was a guy
What
who
is this place, a mall?
was never obviously right-leaning, but would speak truth to power and certainly speak
Jerry
out against the
Seinfeld in there.
elites. And that's what he says now. You can go back in 2008 and picture Bill Burr saying, like, look, these people, right, these rich comics go into
the food
fucking
court.
Saudi Arabia. Like, no one's talking about the fact they're beheading journalists. Starbucks and a Burger King. Go fuck yourself. You found the food court. Let's do another one.
I would have liked that bit, by the way.
Let's do another one. Elon Musk being a Nazi. Just picture 2008 Bill Burr saying what he's saying now in his dumb guy voice.
That idiot Elon Musk.
Oh.
That guy, like he's gonna like who evidently is a Nazi. Like
Oh,
I just
God.
refuse to believe that it was an accidental 2-time Sieg Heil.
Right?
That-
like all these people
yeah, he actually believed
protesting
that.
in the streets, white women who are as privileged. Hey, Elon Musk is gonna say everything's Hitler like behind every
AOC's
room.
done
Go
it,
fuck
Mamdani's
yourself,
done
you
it. Like
privileged
everybody's done it, and it's just
Right?
like only
Dude.
when he did it matter.
How about this one?
like
Where now he's
goodbye.
in the whole mode of, happy
believe
wife,
they actually
happy
see
life.
how-
It's almost like it's
No.
antithetical to
Fucking retard.
the persona of Bill Burr 15 years ago.
I get along great with my wife now. I just basically, I don't die on every hill now. I just go, all right, even if it makes no fucking sense to me. I just think, like, you know what? It's just gonna be an argument. I'm gonna give in, and then we're gonna do this dumb shit anyway. So why not just act like I want to do it, you know? And it keeps the peace. I slowly die inside.
His material about not wanting to get married was specifically to avoid becoming that guy.
But to be fair, I think that interview there was after his wife wrote and directed and starred in a film where she was having sex with a big black guy with a big black dick.
Yeah, look, well, why don't I get married? Right, sign a contract. Dude, sign a contract so that some woman could put me in a basement apartment. I could be one of those guys. Well, happy wife, happy life. She'll be banging some black guy in a movie that she writes saying she's expressing herself. Think I want to become that? Dude, no. Yeah, I hate my life now. I get to do whatever I want. Spend my own money. I'm sitting there, can you take my wallet? Maybe we'll have sex with me later. Fucking pathetic, dude. That's why. It's not because Bill Burr evolved. It's not because he's matured. He is the caricature that he hated for 15 years. YouTube's is something you're not allowed to say according to the guidelines. I was quoting the guidelines. I'm glad you're still here. It means you.
Oh, this is interesting. I heard about the layoffs over at Washington Post, which is great. I've hated the Washington Post for almost 10 years. I keep getting this memory each year on my Facebook. It's like I went back and I photoshopped. It was like just the front of the Washington Post and just crossed it out and I put Operation Mockingbird because that's when I was like, I think it was like 2016 or 17 when I was really starting to get into like conspiracy theories and stuff, which I wasn't far off. I mean, Bezos owns it and it's just became basically his diary or whatever wanted to be said. And they became, I thought they were one of those like elite trusted sources. And that was when I started realizing, I was like, oh, CNN lying. Oh, New York Times, they're all lying. Oh, Washington Post, just as bad. Yeah, they're liars. They're mouthpieces for activist agendas. And it's typically pushed forward by elite agendas, hoodwinking the peons to do the foot soldier work for them.
News broke on Wednesday of massive layoffs at the Washington Post. The exact number of employees losing their jobs is unconfirmed, but according to the New York Times, it will likely include at least 300 journalists, with the entire workforce being reduced by about 30%.
30%. The Post, of course, has been one of the largest and most subscribed to newspapers in the country for decades, but it has long been accused by right-wingers of having a liberal bias, especially in the years since President Trump's.
You know, and what really hit me was the movie with Tom Hanks. I think it was called The Post, and it had to do with the Washington Post uncovering, I think it was Watergate. And that movie, I felt like it was such a beautiful story of journalism. And then you see what we have now and what the Washington Post is now, and compare the two and really look at them. And it's like, something went wrong here. And if you guys really were this beacon of like good journalism back in the day, what the hell happened? Or were you lying to us this entire time? And you were just, you were portraying this image that you were prestigious and trusted and honest. I don't know. I'm not sure what my opinion, because I wasn't alive back then, so I don't know. It's hard to say. And you were only getting fed information through like one source of information or one outlet. So I think they're probably lying back then too, doing the government's bidding. Well, no, my parents did say that CNN's been lying for a long time, and then if you look at the videos from a long time ago, they have been doing it for a long time. But Watergate probably have some sort of ties. And then you probably had some good, honest journalists that were still there that actually broke the story. That's probably my best guess. Well, anyway, I'm ranting.
First election. Fox News columnist David Marcus writes on X, I never celebrate people getting laid off, but it is telling that the Washington Post is firing a third of its staff while the New York Post is launching a new California edition. Turns out that telling the truth pays off. And conservative activist Christopher Rufo says the Washington Post committed ideological suicide a long time ago, and these layoffs are a form of administrative bloodletting that will do nothing to change the fact that the newspaper is already dead. These layoffs come along with a major reorganization of the Post newsroom, including shuttering the sports desk and its book section. The Post has faced subscriber losses and fewer visitors to its website in recent years, with some on the left boycotting the paper after it declined to endorse Kamala Harris in the 2024 election.
That decision, of course, emanated from owner Jeff Bezos, who purchased the paper in 2013 for $250 million. The Washington Post Guild put out a statement slamming the billionaire CEO, writing, quote, "If Jeff Bezos is no longer willing to invest in the mission that has defined this paper for generations and serve the millions who depend on Post journalism, then the Post deserves a steward that will."
Bill Gates.
And Marty Barron, the Post's former editor, says, quote, "This ranks among the darkest days in the history of one of the world's greatest news organizations."
Figured it out for you guys.
The Washington Post's ambitions will be sharply diminished.
He's trusted.
Its talented and brave staff will be further depleted, and the public will be denied the ground-level, fact-based reporting in our communities and around the world that is needed more than ever. In addition, the paper is expected to be greatly reducing its coverage of foreign news. Lizzie Johnson, the Post's Ukraine correspondent, was apparently one of those affected by the layoffs. She took to X on Wednesday, writing, quote, "I was just laid off by the Washington Post in the middle of a war zone. I have no words. I'm devastated."
Look, I think it's always sad when people lose their jobs. I don't think anyone should be...
Just completely side tangent. I have this old coworker that I used to work with, and he's autistic, and he's the goofiest guy, and it's like, it's so funny, like, when an autistic person texts you, I feel like I'm talking to ChatGPT. It sounds almost exactly like ChatGPT, like bullet points, like. And I don't understand autism that well, but it does crack me up. It's like, at least we can find the humor in it. It's like yeah, that's great.
Celebrating this, it's just people don't like journalists. It's fine, but it's it's really sucks for them.
People's lives.
I bet you when he's texting me, it's just so frustrating because I'm just a sloppy mess.
Yep.
The journalism industry is going through tremendous changes. Obviously, large legacy institutions are having some struggles adapting to the new media ecosystem. The fact that brands don't have as much. Are not as captivating for audiences as individual figures, and I think larger institutions are having trouble grappling with that, trying to keep the sort of traditional news, opinion news firewall has very much come down online, and adapting to that has been a struggle. But there's just no way around the fact that Jeff Bezos owns it, and it loses money, and he doesn't want to subsidize this version of it anymore, and it's his paper, and I don't know how. I see a lot of tweets to the effect of, well, he has so much money, he could afford to lose money on it for free. Okay, but it's his money and it's his paper, and if he doesn't want to, I don't see like where you get off saying that.
I mean, I think the argument is, if you're making the argument.
I think my issue is that you took something that was already established as like an honest, legitimate news source, and then you didn't change the name or any sort of the identity behind it. Everybody still perceives it as the same thing, and you completely made it like a bias gossip outlet. That's my issue.
As some have, that, it's all about money saving. I mean,
Bezos
splurges $75 million on a Melania Trump documentary that makes about it.
But then again, I guess if you were to call it something else, why wouldn't he just start his own thing? And the whole reason you're buying it is for the name brand. So I do get it, but it's like you can't go into it thinking that you're going to just completely change it, and people are going to be okay with it when they figure it out.
1/10 of that back, but somehow he can't sustain the Washington Post.
He wanted to do that, and he didn't. I mean,
no, I know, I understand.
He splurged on an expensive dinner on Tuesday and not on Wednesday. It's just my money.
Yeah, but I understand that he wanted to do that. But I mean, it is a completely plausible explanation that he wanted to do that because it's effectively a lobbying payment to the Trump administration, which I think people are rightly critical of. to the point about the Washington Post and some of those tweets from the right that we read there, I mean, those just seem factually completely implausible to me. Their argument, in short, is, well, it's a liberal paper and that's why it's dying. It's no more liberal than the New York Times, which is doing very well and has managed these.
You know what? Which one's worse? The Times or what? I'd go back and forth. I guess you'd have to break it down to who's writing the piece. But it really is just editorials. It's just opinion pieces. That's all. It's all it is anymore. And it's like they're both really bad. But that's funny he made that comparison because I'm like, the Times is shit too. It's been shit for at least 7 or 8 years, from what I can tell. At least it's probably been longer than that. That's just when I really started to figure it out, and that's when it was just becoming blatantly obvious to me.
Things far better.
Yeah, because they have Wordle and connection.
Well, also, there are other reasons beyond that. But also, like, for example, somebody was using the comparison with the New York Post. The New York Post lost money for years and years, if not decades.
But I feel like the Post is still pretty bad too, though, because a lot of the stuff I see come out of the Post is like, it's shit. It's not news. It's usually just, it's like, it's hit pieces. It's gossip usually most of the time. So I don't know if you can make that comparison either, because I don't find the Post to be that great.
Decades, but was sustained.
They did get censored for the Hunter Biden laptop thing, though. I think that's probably why they made another name for themselves, kind of like Fox News, just weathering the storm. It's like, well, they did it.
By Rupert Murdoch from profits from other parts of his empire, because he believed, presumably, that it was worth having a presence in the biggest city and most important media market in the country. The other thing about this sort of, well, it's because they're too liberal. The biggest problem in the recent past for the Post was Bezos's cowardly insistence that they didn't publish that editorial, which, aside from the ethics of it, cost them about 250,000 subscribers. So this idea that the financial problems are a consequence of what conservatives think of it as its liberal tilt or tint, I just think is obviously untrue.
I do disagree. I mean, he bought it, what did we say, 2013? So he had this paper for 10 years. He did not, I don't think you would disagree, he did not do very much editorially to
initially
alter it for 10 straight years. He had a product that was presenting a point of view.
You sure about that?
That he evidently does not agree with, to the extent we can understand his politics seem to be somewhat along the lines of my own politics. He has now finally said...
Really? Okay, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe the narrative's about him taking over and making it his own thing. Because I thought that's where he was politically aligned, but I don't know the world about Bezos. I don't really hear this guy talk or really hear him in any sort of like podcast or anything. So what would I know?
You know what, I own this media thing. Other tech people have bought media properties and have used...
Usually, though, if you're that high up, you're not... You might tout the lefty talking points, but you're not actually a lefty. You don't actually believe that. It's usually just the... I have to play to their side, otherwise they'll definitely come after me.
To reflect an ideology of the owner.
Especially
why
the last
haven't
10
I
years.
done that with my newspaper? It took him a long time, but now he wants it to promote, what did he say? Free markets, civil liberties, things I think are good, and that is his vision for the paper, and it's his paper. So that's what he wants.
But I think we're in a sense talking past each other to a degree here, because you're arguing it is his right to do that. Yes, it is his right to control a property of his as he wishes. That, though, does not neuter the argument that he's doing this not really for financial reasons, but as part of a sucking up to the Trump administration and a lack of commitment to journalism that, in the case of the Ukraine correspondent, for example, doesn't fit neatly into this. Well, is it something that Jeff Bezos agrees with or not? Is simply stripping out coverage of a conflict that I think anybody would regard as important, just gratuitously.
It's not unimportant, but he wants, I think I have no idea. I suspect his plan is to, he wants the Washington Post to be taken seriously by this administration. He wants to impact this administration's views on free markets and civil liberties.
And Amazon, and Amazon.com, presumably, right? That's what he actually wants to affect their views.
Well, good. I hope he's successful, because Amazon is a good product that has done that has reduced human suffering in the world tremendously. And if he gets the if he persuades the administration that free markets and civil liberties are things they should take seriously, I mean, that would be a good thing from my view, and maybe not on Amazon specifically, but probably from your view on civil liberties at least.
Well, the point is that it is a vastly wealthy man using that wealth to influence an administration in his favor. Of course, I have problems with that. I don't think that multi-billionaires should have the outsized influence on our political culture that they do, or have the outsized influence on presidential administrations that they do.
Well, I guess that's a broader topic. They do, and I think they should, they have their speech rights and their rights to advocate for policies that they think are good. We disagree on some of those policies.
We can't go over there?
But I'm not even sure we disagree on the policies he is most likely to affect.
Well,
right?
then what the hell is
he
that?
He doesn't want the tariffs. He probably doesn't want this Like, I've been reading the Washington Post since he announced this, its editorial line hasn't become like full-throated MAGA. Like, that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to leverage it to be a little bit more traditionally Republican on economics.
I mean, possibly. I don't know exactly what he wants and what specific policies he's in favor of. Obviously, Amazon has been criticized numerous times for its labor practices, and I would be very defensive of workers' rights in that regard. So I would imagine I would disagree with him in that respect.
So we are capped out.
That, in a way, brings us back to where we began, where at least we do have common ground in being sad for people who lose their jobs, regardless of our divergences on whether the underlying decision is justified or not.
I mean, I certainly hope anyone who got laid off while in a war zone had some kind of forewarning or is going to be able to get home safe.
Yeah, I saw that. That was actually pretty sad.
A lot more to talk about on Rising. Please stay with us.
So, story on that is there was a Washington Post journalist over in Kiev still trying to cover a lot of the stuff that's going on over there, and she got laid off. And that was one of the few times where I was like, she actually looks like she's doing real work. And I was like, she's Washington Post. I'm like, and of course you got rid of her. You got rid of one that was actually doing like legit journalism. You probably kept some of the others. I don't know. Maybe he is revamping it for the better, because I don't know if it can get much worse than what it is. It was getting close to The View. It was like MSNBC worthy. But let's see. I'm probably gonna take a break. What time is it? Yep, I'm gonna take a break, and I'll be back in a little bit.